Have you been mewing?
I have not.
Do you know? Hey, Kooz, do you
You
know?
I don't mew.
Kooz, do you know what mewing is?
So what's mewing?
So mewing is basically a technique that people do. It goes like this.
Who just wants to sit there for hours and do that?
And you do it for as long as you possibly can.
Jawline?
Yeah, but over time, it really works your jaw, and it gets so hard. Like, literally, you can't even move your mouth because it's so difficult. And I've seen, dude, it cuts people's jaw. Like, not in a bad way, but it gets it nice and sharp like a knife. Dude.
That's why Ryan's jawline is exactly the way it looks, because he's put in the work, he's put in the time, he's grinded in the hours.
They make it
it's a slow-mo panel around his head, and he's like,
Selena walks in. She's like, "It's been 5 hours, 5 hours." And
they
he's
got
like,
a little device that you chew, and you're supposed to do that.
I've seen that. It's rubber. It's like a big rubber, and it's long, and it goes all the way to the back of your throat, and you just chew on.
What?
I'm kidding, but then I have like courses where I'm like, sign up for mewing classes with Ryan Mougey, and people come, and I've just got people. Look, they can't get enough.
Sweatbands and shit on.
T90 jawline.
It's like,
and then
like
afterward, he invites certain guests to like participate in his thing in an underground event afterwards to really work the muscles, and then it just
and I'm injecting steroids right into people's jaw, and they fucking look like chipmunks.
Well, I was gonna say you're teaching people how to like suck dick, you know?
Because he knows. Because he knows. Have you heard?
Yeah, I'm like, why wasn't I invited?
Nick, you're not invited.
I have noticed that, like, recently, I don't know if it's just like the circles that I see online or if it's like the people that I see at the gym, but like, does it seem like steroids are becoming more normal to do? Like, it's just oh yeah.
Well, I don't think that they're more normal to do. I think now it's just the information's out. I think they're more popular. So basically, yeah, it's more normal to do. But still, dude, me personally, I don't know. Like, I've thought about, like, what if I was offered steroids? You know what I mean? Just be fucking ripped. And
where are those people? Where are those?
I don't know. I've never run into. I've run into everybody else who has every other substance, but never steroids.
Dude, but the thing is, was there really anything ever wrong with doing steroids, or was it just playing sports and doing steroids? Like, fuck it, if you want to take steroids and look jacked, hell yeah, good for you. You know, do your thing.
I think it's just like inherently like it is bad for you. And
this guy's a steroid user.
But also like alcohol and other drugs, like those are bad for you. Steroids, you just get a sick fucking pump in, and you're fucking lean.
This guy,
bro. The argument will always be, well, those drugs are bad for you. Alcohol and cigarettes kill millions of people. You know, like straight up, like that shit's crazy to me, and that's legal.
Well, I have heard that, like, if you take this stuff, I was listening to this one guy that was like a boxer, and he said if you take like a certain type of steroid in very low dosages, like very low, like something like 3 milligrams, that is a low dosage. And he's like, you do that, and he's like, you won't get a withdrawal, and you'll like feel like stronger, and like life will be like, you know, more vibrant. You'll be quite chipper.
It's like microdosing acid, but getting huge muscles afterward.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like in moderation, right? In moderation, fine. But when people are injecting like bottles of this shit in their arms, you know what I'm saying? And like,
well, I heard the cavemen used to have trends, so it's got to be good.
Dude, I don't know how I feel about injecting myself with anything, dog. Like giving myself a shot, bro. I mean, god damn.
Yeah, giving myself a shot, fuck that. But I am not afraid for other like professionals to give me shots. Like, I'm not afraid of shots.
I'll let a doctor give me like injectable cocaine.
Have you guys ever tried to give blood or like plasma or something like that?
Nope.
No.
Dude, I tried to give blood one time in high school, really just to get out of class. And I had partied the night before, so my blood was super thick. I'm sitting down there for like an hour. Well, first off, the lady's poking my arm. She can't find my vein because maybe I was a little chubbier back then. But also maybe not. I was playing hockey. I was fit. So she can't find my vein, and she's poking the shit out of me. I'm already queasy. Finally, she gets it in, and I'm sitting there, you know. People come up to you and talk to you to take your mind out of your bodily fluids being taken straight out the vein. And you know, I'm just like, damn. And after like an hour, still, I've only got half of the bag filled up. Like, it was going nowhere. And finally, the lady comes by and says, I'm sorry, your blood's just too thick. It's not filling the bag. We're just going to throw your blood out. This was all for nothing. And I was like,
we're gonna throw it out.
Yeah, because I guess they can't use half a bag that's super thick. And so that was my.
Well, he asked
time.
first. He asked if he could drink it, and they said no.
Dude,
my own
dude.
blood. Ugh.
What if they took your bag of blood? They're like, we're just gonna dispose of this, and then they just threw it in the parking lot, and pulled out an AK, and just started lighting the fuck up.
Well,
so
listen, like in the I think it was the 90s, there was this big like civil rights like uproar with the gay community because they had not gotten like perfected HIV transmission prevention, and these guys like the gay people were like we need to stand up and give blood, like you can't like put it like we want to give blood, don't shut us down. And they caught onto it when they gave this little kid some blood from a gay guy, and he got like fucking HIV.
Dude, that's terrible.
And they didn't have the balls to say you can't donate anymore. So they used to collect blood from fags, and they would they would take it, and they'd be like, "Thank you," and then they'd throw it out.
Oh my god,
it's happened for like I don't know 5 or 10 years after that point.
My girlfriend is like, if you need extra money, they'll give you $800 for every plasma bag you give, dude. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't like. After my experience trying to give blood, I'm like, $800 sounds great. Like, what would you do? Like, what's basically the line you draw for, let's call it $1,000. You know what I mean? And it's like, I do just about anything, but give plasma. And then also, like, come on, it's all crossed our minds, like OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like people are making a fortune out of curiosity, but it's still like, I don't want to, and not to disrespect anybody who's got an OnlyFans or does that kind of stuff, but like, I don't want to.
I disrespect, but
as your Ryan, as your OnlyFans manager, I need to say that we need to move forward with the dick pics in public places. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Kooz,
this was my idea. I was like, "What's your niche gonna be? What's your catch?" Because everyone can just post a dick pic in their own comfort of their own home, and everyone can see it, right? But if you go out to TJ Maxx or fucking Target or like Chipotle and you put your balls in the rice, you know what I mean? That's a fucking photo, so it's like dick pics in public places would really be like, where's the dick gonna be this time? It's like, where's Waldo? You know what I mean? Like, okay. And so that's kind of what my niche was gonna be, dick pics in public places. And there comes a big risk, but very big reward, I feel,
So you're telling me right now you're gonna charge people? How much would you plan to charge them a month for
I don't know,
dick
like
pics in public?
$20. I mean, I'm risking prison time.
$20. So you're telling me somebody's gonna hop on OnlyFans and be like, dick pics in public places? I want to pay $20 a month.
And now, do you think anyone would consume that content with like actual like erotic like needs like in place there?
You think they would get pleasure off it, Ryan?
Yeah,
I really think so, because it's niche. And also, guys, it's not just the fact that it's at Chipotle, it's at TJ Maxx, it's at your parole officer's office. It's the idea that it's me. You know what I mean? It's like, also I'm working off of my name, and my character.
And that is a lot to be said about that, because that is definitely a character building activity. That
for sure. Like people that know me, they're like, dude, did you hear Ryan Mougey took a dick pic at Chipotle and put his balls in the rice? You know what I mean? They're like, they have to see it. Like, there's no doubt about it. You have to see that. Like, if I heard that, if everyone's around the drinking hole at Thanksgiving at the local bar, and they're like, dude, Ryan Mougey fucking, he went to the top of the Eiffel Tower and fucking took a dick pic. You know what I mean? You have to see that, and you would pay $20, no doubt.
Do you?
Yeah, it's like, which one's the Eiffel Tower and which one's Ryan's dick? You tell me. I don't know.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, who remember when there was that one guy in high school that stirred a drink with his dick and posted it on Twitter?
Don't say his name, because I'm not doing any editing in this video. But I don't.
He's lazy.
Who is? Who is?
I don't like. Do you
Who was
remember
the guy
that
that threw all of the like silverware and cups and plates and shit in the toilet and
I
flushed?
don't know that guy.
For a second, I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
I knew
For
where it was
real.
going. Well, you forgot oranges, jump ropes, chains, and
Chains. Where do you get these
remember.
chains?
Where
do you
did
get
you
these
guys?
chains?
Bro, that was my biggest question, bro.
What?
How did they just want to all squat up in the bathroom, bro? There'd be like 6, 7 of them dudes, and they would squat up, throw anything, bro. They would throw anything in the toilet, bro.
Bro, there was a
objects,
smaller guy.
bro.
He ended up down the drain. It was like
I'm
crazy.
pretty sure they threw Radio O'Neal down there at one point. I'm pretty sure I seen him trying to swim for his life.
People went missing, dude. It was fucking nuts, bro.
Oh man,
And they thought that was the funniest shit in the world, bro. I remember talking to people like literally being so dead, like tears coming down their face because they just flushed 4 oranges down the toilet.
I could not stop from like crying when I was doing it because for some reason I found that so funny that like the higher up you would go, like the hierarchy you would have of like things that were able to fit. Because there was never really a plan if they didn't fit. Like if they didn't fit, I don't know what our plan was, but like
they flushed anyways. They flushed.
Well, I remember one time we packed it down in because like we were like, I gotta get rid of it now. I'm not reaching my hand in there. So, but I don't know where that came from, but it was quite funny, and you know I'm still pretty proud of it to this day.
You guys know where Goonies is? Like when they go down in the cave and there's that treasure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
that's where we're all headed.
That toilet, yeah, it was a direct line to there, and you were just all that shit ended up in that
just
cave.
Shit shooting up.
What was the deal with that guy on the Goonies? Like, was he supposed to be like handicapped, or what was his thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Is what they like to be called.
Oh, the big dude with the.
What was his name? Chunk Sloth.
I don't know what his deal was supposed to be, like Parkinson's or something, but
Parkinson's.
Regardless,
I always honestly, don't you always love like the bigger, less intelligent characters in movies and stuff? Like I feel like maybe that started the
lovable dope
trend. It's a trend, yeah. So like it's like no, you know what originally started that was Lenny, right, from Of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
And so
that guy's like the villain.
You guys know? Oh, Ryan knows this. Chowder, right? Chowder. You know, Rada, Schnitzel, Rada. And I'm telling you, the less intelligent, bigger character. I'm telling you, there's love for them.
That's why people love Joe so much.
Exactly. Exactly.
Joe, I want to talk about your birthday. When we
I don't care what you want to talk about.
When we threw a surprise party for Joe, right? And we all go out to this restaurant. God. And while we're at this restaurant, some of his family stayed back and we're setting up like streamers, balloons, all this shit, like a whole surprise party, right? And Joe's like, this is awesome. Like, well, he doesn't know, but like we're all going out to a restaurant and stuff, right? So we're eating at the restaurant, having a good time. You know, it's regular type shit. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And then on the way home, everyone's like, all right, I got to go home, Joe. I'm happy birthday. Like everyone looks like they're peacing out for the night, right? And Joe's like, it's 6 o'clock. Like what? Like what are we gonna do? And I'm in the car with Joe, and we're driving back to his house, and I'm like, man, are you upset? Are you upset? Everyone had to leave, and you could see the tears in his eyes, bro. He was like, he was on the verge of tears, and he's like, no, I'm fine. Like it's cool, man. You guys are great. And dude, he's like on the verge of tears. Anyway, we get to his house finally, and he's like, man, fuck that. He gets out of the car and he starts like solemnly walking back to his house. Dude, no idea what's about to pop off. Me and who was I getting the cooler with? Oh, Isaiah. Me and Isaiah are getting the cooler with all the drinks and shit and out of Isaiah's car. Joe had no clue. And as we're getting him out, we missed the surprise because Joe walked into the house and you hear surprise, everyone's going nuts. And once we got to the door, Joe, like he was all ready. He was like, because he went from so
That's exactly
sad
what he was
so
probably
happy.
like too.
He went from so sad to so happy, dude. And I just remember Joe like being on the verge of tears, and it really was awesome just to see him display emotions like that, man.
Oh my God.
Tell me from your perspective what that was all about, Joe.
Okay, first there was no tears whatsoever. I
said verge.
There was no verge. No. All right, so we're kicking at the beach, man. So we have a great day at the beach. Ryan brings out his cooler. Like, he's like, dude, I got all these beers, man. Let's fucking kick it. You know what I mean? So we're out there, bro. We're throwing the football, swimming at Camp Perry Beach, right? Cool little view. Nice summer day, getting high.
At a military base?
Yeah. They have a secret beach over there. And, we're doing all this stuff over there, mobbing. And I'm thinking, like, damn, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, just going to drink these beers for now, right? And we're all just chilling, whatever. And we're about to leave the beach. I'm like, hey, anybody trying to get some food? Because I'm trying to see what everybody's, doing. They're like, yeah, we will. And then some people are like, oh, man, I got to go home. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's normal, whatever. So we go and we eat and shit. And then, like, everybody's like, yeah, man, I got to – just different reasonings. Like, oh, I got to work tonight, or I got to go to Cleveland tonight. Bunch of random ass. And I'm kind of like –
white lies.
Yeah, I'm just like, hell yeah. And I'm like, on the way home, I'm like, well, Ryan, what are you about to do? And, Ryan, he's kind of like, man, I don't know. I'm just going to go where the road takes me, some stupid ass Ryan quote. And then we pull up to the house, and like, I get out of the car. I'm like, all right, man. And Ryan's like, wait, Joe, come here, or some shit. He was trying to get me like over so like we could all walk in together. But I was kind of like, dude, you just basically told me like to fuck myself. So like, fuck you, And I'm like walking in, I'm like, damn, man, I really don't want to like, not do shit on my birthday, And I walked in, and then everybody was like,
exactly like that, dude.
Yeah. And then I guess I came out, and I was like,
I came out, changed, man. He was in touch with heaven inside at the end.
dude, hold on, Ryan. Do you remember at all those random ass, ratchet ass females that just pulled up out of nowhere?
Yeah, dude. The Black and Milds, they had soot from working in garages on their toenails and shit. I was like, how does that even
They had black lung from working in the mines prior to the arrival.
Yeah, bro.
They had some leftover fucking gas station chicken in their teeth when they came over and smiled.
Yeah.
And they had a Newport just like this, holding it.
They had the walk-in farts. Every step they took, it was like
walk-in farts.
Now,
is that how you like? Is that like what happens when like you need to summon women for a party and like it's short notice and you got to just like get whatever? Or were these people invited, or like where did they come from?
I think like one of the bitches were invited, and the bitch brought a crowd.
Okay.
Yeah,
she was trying.
But that's exactly. That's exactly what you want at your surprise birthday party. You want to walk into a crowd of bitches that you barely know.
Yeah, I mean, cool.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I got another. I have another bit that I would like to do with you guys. Well, it's not even a bit. It's actually just a news title. So we have right here, Massachusetts fugitive found living on a shrimp farm in Guatemala after 31 years. Now, let's get deeper into this. This is the character. This is what he looks like. Mario Garcia was found.
He's kind of beautiful. Look at him.
He looks like Selena, honestly. Like
he looks like Selena.
Not my girlfriend, the singer.
Bro, I think he looks like the guy from Silence of the Lambs, the guy that actually was killing all the people.
He does have like that bit of that like kind of like feminine face going on that like really is like kind of off-putting. But
he would be killing.
He has that hair like Uncle Jesse from Full House.
He does.
Did you say he would be killing it in Guatemala?
Well, he would be killing it in 2022 in America, dude. You know what I mean? Nobody knows what he is, male, female, dude, upside down, flip kick, whatever.
He looks like he's cheering for Argentina at the local bar for a soccer game.
Right?
He looks like he's tilting his head slightly to the right so that he's posing for the picture.
Good angle.
He is a
he's like
So Mario Garcia, 50, was found Wednesday living under an alias and operating a shrimp farm in Guatemala, according to Massachusetts State Police.
He's operating it?
Yeah, he was like the main guy of the shrimp farm, but he's like the violent Forrest Gump, really.
Shrimp kingpin.
Shrimp kingpin.
Violent Forrest Gump.
He attempted to evade capture by jumping into the water at the shrimp farm, but was quickly captured. He was charged with murder in the stabbing of Ishmael Renicios Garcia. Could be related. Who knows? They could have been fighting over Cheetos or whatever it may be. But
violently stabs somebody over Cheetos.
The funniest thing about this is after this whole article, there's a news poll. Are you surprised that Massachusetts police were able to find this fugitive after 31 years?
In Guatemala? Yeah.
Yes, very surprised. Yes, somewhat surprised. No, not surprised at all. And other, I'm like, I don't know what they're trying to
do. Somewhat surprised.
Are they they think they're slacking, so they're trying to like make sure they're picking up the loose line there?
What I think it is, it's like they're asking the public, if you commit a murder and fly away to Guatemala or wherever, how
do you want us to chase you?
Well, do you think you'll ever be caught? And whoever says yes, very surprised, is like, no, they'll never catch me. And people who are like, no, not surprised at all they caught him, they'll never do it. You know what I mean? It's really interesting, but I just had to share that.
I have another one. I informed you about it the last time we talked, Ryan. Do you mind if I, retread content here?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, on the lines of news stories. Now, this is ancient news, but this was probably happened in the early aughts or something like that. But I used to go to, it's called it's something like kind of normal sounding. It's called like the Sun Times, but it's like the newspaper for the certain locality of someplace in like Cambodia or Nigeria or something. Yeah. And I used to read it because in these towns they have like a strong belief in what is actually called juju, and it's like a form of magic. So nothing is impossible in Nigeria. This guy was caught. Now, the guy is not, he wasn't really a stand-up character. He was caught molesting a goat. And so they took this guy and they were like, hey, let's catch him. And so the authorities chase after him and they turn the corner and they see a goat. And they end up taking the goat into custody and, informing the local reporter that you need to be on the lookout for other local criminals because you never know when they will transform into a goat. And so,
bro, I'm telling you, what is wrong with people fucking goats? Like, I knew a guy in Portland, and
they're the sexiest of animals.
No, he served in the military. He served in the military, and he said when he went on tour, he was spying on some people like that they were fighting or terrorists or something like that. And he said that he caught these terrorists passing off a fucking goat and just bucking it. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
I don't know. If I were to say, if I were to try to judge the most, I don't either. I think maybe it's just accessibility.
That's incels. They can't get it anywhere else, so they've got to just bite the bullet and have sex with an animal.
But the thing is, if they're, yeah, bro.
Well, if I were to judge the, I guess, sexiness of an animal, goat would not be on my list. I think I would have to say, and I'm going out on a limb here, I'd say something like a gazelle, because at least it's got the form of a female figure. They got
I would say a panther.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
He goes,
dude, like a cat, like a big cat. You know what I mean? It's purring on you.
A panther, dog. I'm telling
up
you.
with it, and before you know, things go too far. But dude, like a non-threatening big cat, like a panther or
a house cat.
No, I'm not Elon Musk, dude. Come on.
Yeah, like a
What was that about?
He's like, yeah, I want a Persian cat.
No, a big cat, like a big cat. But anyway, a little bit, on the same topic, but a little bit different. My dad was in the military, and he was stationed in Texas, and they had to do training where they had to survive. Like, say they got lost out in the desert, and they had to survive. So my dad was out there with his crew, or the guys he was with, and they would come by every day and drop off four chickens, and and not give them to him, but the chickens would start running around, and the guys would have to chase down the chickens and then cook them themselves. My dad has a huge soft spot for animals, so he would never soft spot. Soft spot. So he would never chase the chickens and try to kill them to eat them. But the other guys would, and of course he ate that. I presume. I don't know. This isn't really my story to tell, but dude, that's fucking ruthless. Just drop off chickens and you got it.
So how is it? So it seems like boxers are chasing chickens a lot, killing chickens. Do you start chasing chickens and then you start boxing, or do you start boxing and then you start chasing chickens?
He did that because he was in the military, not because he was a boxer.
So that's the thing. That exactly he started with the chicken and then he became the boxer. There's just something with the fighter.
They
and the
bleed.
Chicken,
they
man.
bleed
I don't know
into
what
each
it
other.
Nicholas, what other fighter do you know has chased a chicken around?
Rocky.
All right, hey, you're better than me.
You got it.
You got
so, hey, listen. Okay, guys, listen. So I'm gonna start off by just saying, okay, I work at the front desk of my gym, and I know that
I knew it.
Ryan has done some work at Flotate. Joe does the retail. So when you're in a job, you're in one isolated location, right? There's no leaving that area sometimes. You know what I mean? Unless you go to the bathroom to escape. But what I'm leading into is getting trapped in conversation. You know, when someone's just talking to you and you're like trying to be like, yeah, hell yeah, and they're just still not fucking off. But I had this guy right come up to me, and
wait before you go further, what is it with people that don't get that message? Like when you're like, okay, yeah, that's cool, yeah.
Hell yeah, that's my favorite one. Hell yeah.
Who is that? Who is it that after you hear that like 50 times, you're like, okay, I better go?
Well, there's two types of people. Yeah. People who know that you're doing it and you want to get out of the conversation, and then they keep doing it to torture you. And and then
right. Those are smart people, yeah.
Yeah, then there's the second person who is just totally oblivious and has no clue that their story's boring.
Man, I'm delivering some insightful news to this guy. Like he's like
speechless. But anyways, let's
okay, yeah, go ahead.
So this guy, he comes up to me and I see that he's wearing a Patrick Star shirt. He's wearing the license. Patrick Star's on the license, right? And I'm like, hell yeah, that's sick, man. My friend, you know, we rave and shit, and he likes to dress up as SpongeBob and shit. For those who don't know, that's Joe. But anyways, so this guy, he's like the next day he comes up to me and he's like, man, your scale's got to be broken, man. I hate when people say that shit. I'm like, really?
What scale?
Is it the scale at the gym?
Oh, okay.
He couldn't measure his pot there incorrectly.
No, I'm selling drugs at the gym. He wanted some coke, and it got really ugly really fast. No,
I thought you were talking about your gauge arm. I was like, your scale's broke, son.
Man, there's got to be something wrong with your scale.
Anyway, Nick, the scale's broke.
Nice. Glad we already know where Ryan's head's at, everybody. Anyways, so yeah, he comes up to me and he's like, yo, the scale is it must be broken. And I'm like, oh yeah, really? Because in my head I'm thinking, you know, he's like, oh, tell your managers. I'm like, oh, I'll get that checked out, you know, for sure. And I'm like, in my head I'm like, fuck no, I step on the scale every day and I know exactly it. And so anyways, long story short, this guy, great guy, Patrick Star, all that, he just sat there after that introductory line and just kept pulling. And yeah, I just got to that point where I'm like, man, I'm going to have to go take a 20-minute shit or something.
Was he bitching at you for the entire 20 minutes or was he?
Well, it was kind of like, dude, here's the thing, man. And I feel like sometimes people talk and it wasn't that he was saying all negative things, but they'll like say negative shit, random negative shit, just so you agree. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh,
yeah, that's like primary
work sucked. Oh, I just can't wait to get home. And
fact.
Right, yeah, and it's just like if it's that, I'm just like, yeah, because I'm not gonna agree, because I'm not gonna let that feed into my head, you know. I'm not gonna kill that. No,
I know what you mean.
I
even feel it myself sometimes when I'm talking to someone that, you know, I have to like be around, but I don't have anything to talk about, you usually try to like go towards negative topics, which I try not to do, but I've noticed the urge to want to do that, where I'm like, let's find something that I can like rag on to like, communicate with this person, like have something interesting to talk about. And it really is like, I stay away from it, but I feel it every time.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but like I've done that before. But like when you have the opportunity to completely, like if somebody's just feeding negativity, they're feasting, they're in their pain body and they just want to bitch, and then you flip the script on them and you agree with them and then you flip the script and you just start saying positive and you just beat them down with positivity and they get real quiet. They're like, oh shit, maybe I've been thinking about this all wrong.
I've seen that, yeah.
And then hopefully they go on from that conversation with like, okay, like maybe I can start to think about what I do have instead of what I don't, and the positive things instead of the negative things, And so I kind of just try to,
bro, I really think
beat them up with kindness.
I think that's such one of the biggest challenges of life is like when you're having a conversation with someone and approaching them with love and not judging and being like, okay, yeah, I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to, dive into conversation and like approach you with a positive mindset. But it happens so many times where we get in our head and we approach someone where it's either we don't like them or we just don't want to talk, but you're not even giving them the time of day just because of how we feel inside. And imagining, like you said, if we were to have that good conversation with them to lift them up, it would have a dramatic effect on possibly like the whole population if we all approach people like that,
No, you're totally right. I try to be positive when I'm like talking to strangers, and also like everyone has it. Like when you like see someone, like if you walk up to someone that's honestly kind of ugly looking, you have bad like like you kind of look at them and you feel different. And so like, but you go in and you like treat the person really nice, and then you actually like find out that the person's like really interested. I mean, I know this is like kindergarten level stuff, but it's sometimes people don't do that. And
bro, people don't have common decency. I mean, people automatic, like you said, like how you said about like walking up to a like uglier person or like even a fatter person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like. Yeah, I mean, jokes are funny. We all laugh and shit, but like, you never know if that's really hurting them deep down inside. You know what I mean? They could be like, "Oh yeah, you got me, bro," but like deep down, bro, like certain shit really hurts people.
But also,
I'm not talking about like I'm not talking about like insulting them. I'm just saying like when you like see someone like that, like there's usually like subconscious things in your brain where you like don't want to treat them as nice. But every time, you like overcome that, I would say like 90% of the time, like almost everyone like you talk to, is not like the shithead that your mind comes up with when you see something.
But also on another note, like your thoughts and your energy and what you're putting out affects the way you look. Like really, that people say looks, you can't control it, but really, if you're thinking positive, good, happy thoughts, you're going to look positive, good, and happy. If you're speaking to yourself in confidence, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you are going to appear confident. And, never judge a book by its cover. Of course, give yourself the opportunity to talk to these people, because I know a ton of people who may not have the best self-image and they're still great people. Don't get me wrong. But also, I think in my mind, at least, Kooz, when I see somebody less desirable, I'm like, what's really going on in their head? You know what I mean? What's really going on?
Hi, I'm Jordan.
And I find that sometimes when you're having a conversation, especially when you're having a conversation and you go into it thinking like, I don't want to talk, or this person isn't appealing to me, maybe not just physically, but just like their energy they're giving off is just not me. But then when you really be mindful and dive into that conversation, sometimes you get the most out of those conversations. It's like when you when you want to work out, right? But you don't want to work out, but then you go even though you don't want to work out, and you work out, and sometimes it's even a better, like it's one of your best workouts. Like I've gone to yoga sometimes and I don't want to go whatsoever, and then I go and I'm like, wow, I just came out of that, like that was like one of the best classes I've ever done.
Yeah, and it's interesting because on the point of what I just said, also I'm thinking like some of the best looking people, like supermodels and pro athletes, can be some of the most surface level people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so maybe there's something there with, you know, all of that stuff. Obviously, this is all situational. Everyone is different, but I was just kind of on my own thought of what I said earlier, kind of backtracking, like, whoa, like I know some people who are incredibly attractive who are very shallow and can't hold a conversation, you know?
Or they're just like, I feel like sometimes when people are like, no, they're like look good or anything like that, it's not about confidence. They kind of turn into more of a narcissist, kind of like, you're going to treat me good because I look good. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm going to treat you like how you treat me. You know what I mean? If you come to me all nice, positive and shit, like, fuck yeah, I'm going to give that shit right back. But I'm not going to respect you just because of a job title or the way you look or fucking who you are, bro. Like, be a good fucking person. Then I'll respect you.
Yeah.
You know
and Joe,
I mean?
On the case of like, you never know what's really like digging at people, you know, in the case of a joke or, you know, an insult or that kind of stuff. Also I mean, for me, at least, I know this to be my truth that, you know, laughing about tough topics gives me relief. It helps me, you know what I mean? And but not everyone's like that. But also, like sometimes you gotta laugh through the pain. For me,
well, you know what? I just finished reading a book called "The Way the Peace War." I may have mentioned this before, but you learn throughout the book, and you learn in life too. Like it's not just the book that I've learned this from. That when you transform like anger into kind of laughter, like where if you see a situation right, and normally it would make you angry, turning that into that's hilarious that I would feel like that, like making humor out of it. And then that will raise your vibration essentially because you change that perception of, angry, negative to laughter, positive.
Yeah.
I feel like my way of like, you know, making like, you know, situations funny or something. Like, for example, if somebody were to come, you know, like try to make me look silly in front of other people, you know, I just give them it right back. Or like if you say something to me, like try to insult me and it just simply doesn't make sense or it sounds super stupid, what I do, I like to slowly repeat it back to you in the loudest, straightest voice I possibly can. So you can hear what the fuck your dumbass mind just said to me.
Joe.
I like what you were saying earlier, Nick, about that like you have like when something happens, like let's say there's nothing happening in a room full of people, there's like neutral kind of like energy going on.
Everyone's just standing like
everyone's in like T-poses. There's like neutral energy going on, and like it takes only the littlest bit of like, I wouldn't say like leadership, but just like you know, like you can like set the tone by just like making things like making more positive comments, or especially when a like bad situation happens, like at work, if someone like dumps like a pallet over and it like breaks a bunch of stuff, like that situation is like by default like really awful and like everyone's angry, but all it takes is like one person just putting an input in that's, you know, not totally negative, and you can, you know, turn the mood around a little bit. And nobody usually does that.
The thing is, there's
out and do that.
There's always ways to embrace positive situations and perspectives in any negative situation. And in reality, all negative and positive things are relative. So something really negative to someone can really be a positive, depending on the situation. And some things that are positive for others, it's like an election, for example. That's like the most basic thing in a sense, where someone wins, people think it's a good thing. Some people think it's a bad thing.
Use like a fight because I guess, there's more opinion, I guess, on who wins an election. But with a fight, you know, when it becomes just two people, you know, the person who won, that's a great experience for them. And the person who lost, you know, they have to eat that loss and they have to internalize that. Of course, their coaches and their team are going to be upset about that. But that's really like a one-on-one basis where it plainly shows like one thing that's good for one person is completely different for another.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And honestly, like it is like situational too, because it's like sometimes winning a fight's good, but I remember when I punched somebody a long time ago, I felt like shit after. Like I felt not good whatsoever, and it was in that moment where I knew like, okay, physical altercation is never the answer, because if it made me feel like this, even though I did it in front of those people to that dude, I'm just like, it's just not worth it. Like, every situation I've ever been in where I've seen physical altercation, and some people, that's just their way of handling things, and all the power to them. But personally, it's just like, why? You know, in sport and fighting, that's another thing. That's different, because that's sport fighting. You know, you're gonna make money off of that. But if it's just like fighting, like, but it's just like fighting, and just like at the bar, like, who's got?
Well, everyone
like,
loses that. Everyone loses there. I meant more like, professional, but yeah.
Well,
everyone
you
loses
know,
the bar.
when it comes to physical altercations, you know, I have something that can relate to that. It was actually on my drive home tonight. I hit someone's cat. And,
nice.
Like, I hit
Rest
someone's cat.
to that dead cat.
Dude, this was the cat ran out in front of me on like a 35-mile-per-hour road, and I had no time to stop it. It was right by a house. Okay, and like, horrible story, but there was definitely humor here that I could not deny. So in the, you know, the misery of this situation, I hit the cat, and the owner's kid was outside.
No.
Dude,
oh shit!
Listen, it gets better. So I went outside, and he's like crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. And I was like, you know, I'll help get him off the road, and I'm trying to help get this cat off the road. And it was so smushed that I had to use like this little like plate in my car to get it out. And I was like, oh man, dude, I had the highest sense of tension I think I've had in a long time, where I was like, all eyes on me. He hates me. He's watching, and I was like, I'm really sorry. And like, I brought the cat over, and the parents came out. The parents came out, and I'm not kidding. So the kid went back into the house, and the door opened, and he was greeted by a pig, a hog, a whole size hog. So this was like Funny Farm or something. Because then I was like, I wanted to tell these people I hit their cat, because like, I'm not like gonna try to run away from this, because like, obviously this kid saw me. So I was like, hey, you know, I hit your cat, and they're like, he's, you know, we got a bunch of them. And I was like, I was like, here, I got it off the road for you, and I had it in the yard. And he was like, that's all right. You know, Coons will probably take it. Don't worry about it.
No.
With this kid, you know,
honestly, it has me feeling like
Coons will take it.
It has me feeling like this kid's favorite animal was that cat, and the parents had some grievance against the cat. Like the cat pissed the parents off somehow, and they wanted to get rid of it for a long time, and the kid wanted it still, and it died. Clearly, you did the parents a favor, Samuel. You should have just drove off. They would have been like,
the biggest
right back. Give me 1 second.
Honey. Yeah. Well, my biggest question was for him, but Joe, you know, on another subject while he's gone real quick, Gunna gets released from prison today. He's got to do 500 hours of community service. Now, mind you, I had to do 200 for just some surface level shit, and he's got to do 500. Although, like, my community service took a lot of time. His, I feel, is like going to take a lot of time and money. You know what I mean?
So look, I watched a video today of actually them finalizing that in the courtroom.
Right.
He snitched. I watched him do it. They asked if all the shit was all the evidence, was it his? He said no. And then he said, so you're saying the other associate with you in the car, Jeffrey Williams, that was his methamphetamine and all that shit? And he said, yes, sir.
Right, and then he said something about YSL not being more than just a rapper. He said it was a gang. That's what his owner. Then he said the gang needs to end.
Yeah, that's.
Sorry, exactly I went to go fix my hair.
1 sec, because you look like the albino Superman, dog. I mean, come on.
Dude, so what I think about that whole case is I know Gunna's lawyer was like, look, this is it. This is what you got. You have to snitch. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. None of us have really been in a courtroom with the RICO law or none of that shit. So people can be out here and be like, oh, I would never snitch. I would never snitch. But really, dude, like, really put yourself in a situation like that. Like, really, like, there's people that are always like, oh, I'm so solid. Like, even myself, I've caught myself saying that.
I'm so
but
solid.
like,
I'm rock hard right
dude,
now.
People that have never been involved in any situation really can't speak on that situation at all.
Man, it's like
period,
it's
and
like,
that goes with anything.
If you don't relate, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I never really like. I'll never talk about jail or anything like that. I've never been there, so I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, man, it was so bad in there. Like, why would you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been in there, so why? How can I describe you what jail is like? You know?
Have you ever been in a courtroom though?
Yes, for different reasons.
That shit is fucking nerve wracking, dude. That shit is
Ryan, why
so
were you in a courtroom? Tell us.
When was I in a courtroom?
Why? Reasons.
The reasons I was in a courtroom was because so after New Year's, on New Year's, me and some people, we got caught hotboxing a car and all of our paraphernalia and all that mumbo. They give us 6 months probation where, you know, you can't get in trouble, right? And essentially at the time I had broken up. Me and my girlfriend were going through it. We broke up. And so then I was depressed. I was on probation. I'm in all this legal trouble. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get drunk as tits. And so I go out to this party with me and my friends have a cooler full of beer, like to the brim, more beer than we knew what to do with. And I'm just drinking like a fiend, dude. I can't get enough of it, trying to drown my sorrows. Long story short, on the way home, the guy who's driving is like, hey, nobody can stay at my house. Everyone's got to go home. I'm on probation. My mom knows I shouldn't be drinking. I told her I was going to stay at a friend's. This is bad news. So I got nowhere to go. Finally, he drops everyone off, and I'm left sitting on the cooler in this guy's yard. It's the middle of the night, 1 or 2 in the morning. I call my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, hey, could you please come pick me up? I'm in a tight spot. And she's like, yeah, I'll be right.
I'd be careful, dude. Are there statute of limitations up yet?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
I'm just
yeah. And so I'm like, could you please come? She's like, yeah, I'll do it. She never comes to pick me up. I fall asleep, pass out in the yard next to a cooler full of beer. I wake up to the police kicking me awake. I stand up, or I look up and I stand up ready to run.
The story's giving me anxiety.
It hits me all like a bag of bricks, dude. I could not go anywhere. I was so drunk. They're like, blowing this or you're going to jail. Blowing this or you're going to jail. And I was like, I can't deny this. So I blew in the thing and I shouldn't have. And that was the time I got handcuffed, put in the back of the car. They didn't even put me in a cell. They handcuffed me to the waiting room bench.
So are you saying that you think you could have gotten away with not blowing?
Yeah.
Because you were in someone's yard, not in a car, right?
Well, no, I could have just not blowed, and then they wouldn't have had like exact proof how drunk I was, you know what I mean? Or that I was drinking at all. So long story short, I violated my probation, and I had to go back in front of the judge maybe 2 or 3 weeks after they already sentenced me one time, and I had to be like, I'm so sorry about this. And it
I'm
won't
just
happen
a troubled
again.
youth. I mean,
but if you really think about it though, like this, okay, I'm not going to speak on Ryan's situation, but in general, people with sorrows and issues and depressions and anxieties, they get fucked up and then they get put in a jail cell. Like, that's so fucked up. You know, like, you have to be on probation. You have to get off drugs instead of helping these people. Why were you drunk that night? You know, why?
There's absolutely no help for.
Yeah, the system is not like that whatsoever.
I don't think they do a single damn thing to help anyone.
Dude.
I mean, there's some crimes that like you don't need to be helped for. You just need to be put out. But
facts.
There's
like hitting someone's cat and scraping it up with a plate and fucking.
I served my time. I did the right thing. Dude,
I'm kidding.
Hey guys, since we're on the topic of prison, Family Guy episode, Peter and Quagmire and the guys that go to prison and they all join gangs, right? So Joe and I were talking like, would you join a gang in prison? And if you did, which one in family of?
Well, I think that go ahead.
It all depends. What do I have to do to be initiated into the gang? Because I don't want to have to stab anybody or kill anybody.
Well, normal prison gangs, like from what I see on TV, not that I was all in there with fucking bandanas and tatted up and shit.
Hard as
shit. You know, you either get jumped in or it's like some gangs like all have like the same scar under their eye or like on the side of their face or something. So like you would have to get sliced or like 9 times out of 10 they'll just say
dog.
like they're just like, you know, you have to get jumped in, you know what I mean, and then you're guaranteed protection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then again, that shit's dangerous. Like I always thought, like, just from seeing my uncle TJ, you know, being in prison and stuff, it's like, you know, that gang shit's dangerous, dude. Like, but they respect people who have talents. So if you know how to cut hair, for example, nobody's gonna fuck with you. If you know how to tattoo really, really well, nobody's gonna fuck with you. You know what I mean? Or like if you clean real well and you're not a thief, you know what I mean? People will fuck with you. But then again, you can't trust people all in your cells and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I think it would just be hilarious, us four, like in the TV show in Family Guy, where they like we're all like just stabbing each other simultaneously. It's like I turn around, stab Joe, and Joe's like stabs Ryan, then Ryan stabs Kooz, and then Kooz stabs me, and then we're just like
what I don't think, like, so from what I understand, I used to watch this guy that had on YouTube that had gone to prison, and from what I understand, you don't really have a choice as to what gang you get in. It's like there's one available for you, and it's usually organized under racial lines. Mm-hmm. So like, you know,
that
like,
is, yeah,
the black guys stay with the black guys, the white guys, and, you know, like Latinos, you know, whatever else is in there. In some places there's even Native American people that, you know, organize like that. And then so like there might be like a few other like non-racial choices, but I believe that like if like whatever you are when you come in there, that's the only like application
right,
you know, bullet point that
yeah, it's like it's like a gang fair, and all the gangs, like the presidents of the gangs are lined up on orientation where all the prisoners show up. Like, you sign up here.
Yeah, this is the gang
like
sign
guns.
up.
What's your weapon of choice? A knife, a gun.
Hello, sir. Would you like to join the Heartless Felons?
Hammer.
Guys, so as I was going through trying to figure out what I wanted to bring to the table for this episode, I found the crown jewel of old Instagram pages, and I want to go through it with you guys.
I have some notes too. When you get done, then we can go over that if we have time.
I love it. We'll go through it. So this is my old Instagram account. First off, the last picture I ever posted on there. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Wait, can we start at the bio?
I followed this.
Real satisfaction. Account. Real satisfaction is doing what everyone said you couldn't.
I followed this account, and I saw you pull it up real quick, and I was like, this fucker, he's been lying to me. I've sent messages to this account, and he's like, I can't get into it. And
let's start at the bottom then. My first ever post here. Oh my God. So yeah, these are garbage. But let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this stuff. Right here. Joseph Morales, back in the day, as a Spider-Man clown.
Dude.
That was my 6th birthday at Cedar Point. My mom surprised me and took me there, and we did a bunch of shit, as you can see.
You look quite caught up.
I was actually cracked out from the cotton candy. That whole day. So all the candy and shit that I ate all day. I'm still eating a lollipop. It's 10 o'clock at night, and we pulled up there at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I had a pretty good day.
Dude, you could have been on Toddlers and Tiaras. I swear to God, you're so cute.
Thanks.
All right, then we have this image here at a Cedar Point bathroom.
No.
This is
Cedar
off
Point
of.
Used to be ruthless.
This is off of.
Looks like a chicken noodle soup.
This is off of the Raptor, and you can see the Raptor had their way with someone. Sidekick Sassafras, like this photo. That's awesome. All right, and moving onward, we had Joseph Morales again being pranked on the bus to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Look at all these comments, dude. See, back in the day, we used to have our heyday with social media. Nobody comments like this anymore, man.
No.
You know?
You get like 15 likes and you're done.
Straight up. And so then we have Joseph Morales again, dude. This guy was all over the street, man.
Guys, he wasn't posing for this picture. He was repeatedly trying to open the door, and he couldn't figure out if it was a push or a pull. And then we finally told him it didn't open at all.
What is this? What is this depicting here?
It's an exhibit at in Washington, D.C. It's like a statue of. It looks like the Great Depression, but I don't know.
Okay. waiting in bread lines.
Let's talk about me real quick. First of all, one, why am I built like an uncle? Second, why do I have those long ass white socks on and those super low shorts? I don't understand. And what's up with the bald fade? But leave the fade. They just gave me bald.
Bro, it looks like the edge of your fade is in the back of your head. Like it looks like it goes like.
Dude,
and then it comes down right here.
I'm pretty sure my mom took me to first choice before that. She was like, "You're not gonna go to these people."
Oh man.
No, Tip was fresh. My kid's fresh. He's about to go first choice. He comes out looking like that.
Yeah, literally.
Dude, I quit going to like Great Clips because those people cut my ear off. I'm not kidding.
Jesus.
They took a slice out of my lobe, and it continued to bleed during the operation. And
they didn't say that next picture, Ryan, in the middle.
They didn't say anything about it until after as I was leaving, I was like, "Oh man, there's blood here," and they're like, "Oh man, sorry, we'll take $5 off."
This post should say finally. This post should say finally finished in my baby because he just got done fucking the trophy on the.
Hold on,
I made this.
First off, Ryan, what were you trying to do here? I feel like you look like a One Direction member here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. My hair was real soft and fluffy, dude. I don't know what I was doing, but I was gorgeous, man. Dude,
no doubt.
I don't know, man.
He's like Justin Bieber. You and the Canadians can't take the Stanley Cup from me in USA.
He's like, hashtag just got done off of practice.
So these are my custom roaches that I designed, motherfuckers. New York Islanders colors. I'm obsessed. Good shit. And then we have the ASL Ice Bucket Challenge. But I want to really get into this football photo. Here I am on the ground, really taking out the guy's legs, pulling him down by the ass cheeks. And I was
stuck his dick.
No. Yeah, people said touching butt and things of that manner, but really, dude, I mean,
it doesn't even look like you're grabbing his butt like a tackle. It looks like you're gently caressing it. It's like you're holding on to it. It's like it's your baby.
He was putting his finger in his ass.
No, look at that arm muscle. I'm engaged, man. I'm engaged. But then we have.
Man, do you still got that definition? That look, I mean.
Yeah.
Flex for him. Flex that. Show me that forearm. Oh yeah, he's got it. He's got it. He's got the veins too, man. We could find the veins if we wanted to take blood tonight.
The blood's thin. So then we have your boy with the Chinese hacky sack. I mean, this is as good as it gets, guys. Come on, show me what it do.
Wait, are we just taking time to relive Ryan's glory days?
We are.
Prime Mougey, right?
These are my glory days right here. We've got.
Man, you're a good-looking little kid.
Well,
that's a nice little outfit.
Bro,
you're damn right.
Samuel wishes he could go back in time and add you to his collection.
He'd sign me up for toddlers and tiaras, man. Jesus. And then we have right here. This is what I really wanted to get to. Look at this all-American photo. We have Batman and Robin. Of course, I'm Batman. Joe is Robin here.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, really. And this.
We need to go back in time. We need to go back to the '60s and put this on. I
like that haircut, man. I like that haircut, man. You got to go back.
It's sharp. And yeah, that kind of does it, guys. That's really all we have here. But I just wanted to go through that because I thought it was silly.
What would you guys do if you walked in your kitchen and Joe was playing with nunchucks with a headband on and one of those little ninja dresses, like a ninja skirt dress where it's like he doesn't have a shirt on and it's around the waist, but it's above the knees,
the
but
ninja it's tunic.
Yeah. So we were just talking about that and fantasizing about that today. And I was like, Joe, you'd probably turn around and drop your fucking things and see me and open your eyes and fart instantly like you usually do. You're just like, oh,
Well, now that you bring that up, like, why do the hospital gowns not have a back? Like, was it too expensive? And like, because you'll see people when they get up and they're like a like off the chain patient when you see a guy going down the hallway and his
I think it's if they got to use the bathroom or restroom. I think it's if they have to use the restroom or bathroom.
Oh yeah,
because there's people in there they shit themselves, they piss all over the place. They have to have tubes and catchers.
I mean, I do that every day and I don't need a gown. It's like all the same.
I will say though, I'm working at an Amazon reselling warehouse right now, and the lady.
Okay, drop shipping, man, passive income.
Josh, she's working with this woman whose mom developed cancer, and so she designed a gown for her mom that covers her backside, her ass cheeks, so she wouldn't be embarrassed.
Yeah, it's some common decency. Why the hell can't the hospital give me the functioning adult version?
We know why. They're trying to just see some ass. You know what I mean? All the doctors.
That's probably what it is. They're like, well, 9 out of 10 times it's an old person, but one time it's
one time
it's like they have some weird like sketching.
No. So, I had something written down here. I had a few things that. I was just thinking about today. So these are fresh. I had older ones, but so what do you think of when you think of a soulless place? Like give me the what your thoughts are.
A graveyard.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Soulless place.
I think a soulless place would be somewhere where it's nothing but the same exact thing.
3 a.m. at a Denny's.
Yeah, it's all based around shit that doesn't matter, like partying and like, shit like that. Like, for example, like I would say Miami is a soulless place because people go to Miami just to do what? Party, sniff cocaine, do the whole 9. That's all that shit's really.
Yeah, I'm sure that everyone goes to Miami just wants to sniff cocaine.
Right, dude. What about the artwork that's there? What about the music that is played there? That's all soul. You know what I mean? And
I went there to headbang straight up.
To put the blanket over a whole city is tough. You know what I mean? If we're talking about a soulless city, let's talk about Portland, Oregon. All right, let's talk about Portland, Oregon. That's a soulless city. Miami's got life, baby.
Omaha, Nebraska.
So?
Omaha, Nebraska.
You think that Portland is really?
Well, I mean, with with all the rain, it's no. I'm kidding. I've been to Oregon and it's very beautiful. I don't think you can name a city being a soulless place. I think it has to be a specific place, like
That was more what I was referring to. But there are cities like I would agree with Joe about Miami. Like I get that vibe from there.
My nigga, right there.
And because I went through there once, and I honestly there's a couple towns in Florida I went through that like had that, and maybe it was just how the weather was, but I just sensed like something integral missing.
So are you talking about the people or the atmosphere?
I'm talking about it. I was actually referring to more like a building or an area. But and I'm like, well, no, your example was fine because like I agree with it. So, but yeah, and like I had something further on that, but like what would you think of as like a soulless type
Epstein Island?
Listen, I will have to say that when I did work at Ocean Reef, I had some coworkers that lived near Miami or in Miami, and they said that they were looking to move out of there because it's very dangerous and like the crime is very real and the gang violence and stuff.
That's
that's soulless shit, bro.
People don't go to the beaches anymore all the time because there's like and these kids are in high school. These high school gang members killing people and stuff. It's really unfortunate. I have had good experiences in Miami, so I'm not gonna say the whole city's soulless, but I can understand the narrative that you guys are coming from.
Las Soulless, California probably has no souls.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Los Soulless. No, it's a real place, but
so my. He's funny. So what I was getting to was that when you walk into like like how you see like there's like Dollar Generals popping up everywhere. Like you see one. Like I'm sure it's going on.
You know that place sucks.
Dude, absolutely. They build $1 million generals and dollar stores in Port Clinton. It's Port Clinton. How many dollar stores?
Yeah, there's like 5.
Yeah.
So their goal, like the company's actual goal, is to have like not be further than 5 miles away from a dollar store in like most directions.
What the fuck?
That is their goal. That's their stated goal. But so I was thinking about this, and like, so you look at the Dollar General building, and that is something that has just like absolutely no character to it. And the newer they get, the less character they're getting. Like so, like the architecture of new like commercial complexes. The like a Walmart. Like there's absolutely, it's like a warehouse that's just.
You know what it is? It's a station. It's a simulation station. Like it's part of the simulation, and it's just like a place that there's always one of those everywhere you go. So like it's just automatically simulated there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I go into a Walmart and like, you know, I've been into like older grocery stores, and there's actually like some character to it. They're different. Like some of them are different. Some of them have like, and old grocery stores used to be like way beyond like anything that we would like recognize as a store. Like, and you know, there was lots of like character to these places. So I've just noticed that like anything new that has gone in, even if it's like a house or something anymore, it has like no individuality. It's got like no character. It doesn't cling on to any type of like design scheme, like, you know, like Art Deco. It's more just like brick and metal. And the newer this stuff gets, the less like you're seeing any type of creativity in this stuff. And I think like and like Walmart, for example, like Walmart is like the de facto town square for most places, unfortunately, because, you know, like the community has kind of been like wrecked by how this country's been going. So you don't have a really big sense of community. You don't have people like mingling together like they used to, like in like the downtown portion, because all the old businesses are like out. And so Walmart is like the de facto town square, but it's got like nothing to it other than just like, this is the place that we have to go to get groceries. You don't know the owner. You don't really know the employees. There's absolutely nothing interesting about the building. And it's just like, it was just bothering me the other day. Like,
yeah, well, I'll tell you this, man. Like, I go to a place called Sprouts grocery store, dude, and there it's like all organic, all fresh stuff. The energy when you walk in there is so
they got good lighting
like,
in there though too. Yeah,
great lighting. When you walk in and it feels super good. Like there's no pressure. Like no one's weird in there. It's like super laid back. But you go into a Walmart, dude, and it's like fucking, you just dropped into Warzone. I don't know what it is, but like the energies are so wild in Walmarts and stuff. Like it's really, really staggering.
My grandpa used to call people that went to Walmart Walmartians, and they find stuff on Facebook of like these people who looked all crazy and like, were like wearing stuff. Yeah, like people that lived in Walmart, like Walmartians.
Man.
There was a site that was called The People of Walmart, and it had there's like thousands of pictures on there, and I'll tell you, it's like
if Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob was wearing a bikini on one of those like little scooter things that you drive, but this is a real human, you know what I mean? And they're wearing like a cowboy hat, and like they have streamers coming out of their mouth, and
literally,
they have one shoe on, and the other shoe's like kind of there, but it's ripped and it's falling half off. It's like that's a Walmartian, you know, but their cart is just stacked full of like random stuff. Like it could be a pinata, it could be a thing of apples,
just
it could
pillows,
be some toenail
like a mini
clippers.
Fridge. Yeah. Ryan, can we go to the People of Walmart and open the website and just take a look at the homepage?
It's a website?
Yeah, it's just look up on Google, just People of Walmart. It's a website. I think it's peopleofwalmart.com, but it was definitely around a couple of years ago. And I'm telling you, every single one of those pictures is a hit, man. Like, I don't know where they find these people. But man, they're out there. They're Walmartians. And,
People of Walmart.
Huge fan of Walmart.
I think no, here we go.
What the fuck?
You're on the right site.
I'm not a robot.
Okay, well, let them know that. But
it wants me to update my Adobe. All right.
No, I don't think you need to do that. So you got Hauling a Goat,
which holding on for dear life. Let's keep going. Oh, this Adobe. Decisions were made here. Huggies and Jack Daniels.
Normally, it's just pictures of people with like no caption whatsoever. And
just just Google Walmartians. Just Google Walmartians and just see what you find.
Do you think there could be an Instagram page for it?
Maybe,
yeah.
but you might.
I think if you Google Wall Martians, if there's an Instagram page, it will pop up on the most.
But I think like
found it.
The dissolution of a town square and like a community has led to more people like this, and oh,
he bought him like that.
Hey, that guy's got and
he bought him like
nothing like getting blackout drunk on natural light pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
This girl got her butt cheeks out.
Okay, that is a common picture you used to find on that website.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
How about this? Look how scared this kid is. Look how scared this kid is.
Hey, this is in Cincinnati, Ohio, guys. These are our people.
Wow,
these are our kind.
Oh, we can't say anything then. Man, that is nuts, though.
I'm upset they only have 4 posts.
How they Dude, I always see like people pages. They've got like 5,000 followers and then 4 posts. Like these posts, like yes, they are good. They are good Wall Martian posts, but I've seen Wall Martians much more Wall Martian.
There are much more. He's right. He's right. There are much.
You know what?
Posts. But...
Joe, what's that Key West one where people are passed out?
Oh, the Key West Gravity Chronicles.
Gravity Chronicles. Okay.
Yeah, it's just them and they're blackout drunk on Duval Street and passed out. But sometimes they make us mistake these homeless people for drunk tourists, and I think it's fucked up. But they are there are a lot of people that are just drunk.
There's Matthew again.
So,
dude, I will never forget, bro. Like when I was okay, so Joe and I have lived with a lot of different individuals during our time in Key West. Okay. When I first got here, I was living here with 3 40-year-old grown men, and it was an interesting, situation. And then Joe gets here, a couple of the older men move out. We got a couple of friends that move in.
Or were they like normal?
Like Matt, like OG Matt, like he gets down. Like OG Matt was
he's a
Ryan
cool ass
and
dude.
Salita and shit.
Shout out to Matt.
But anyways, as I was saying, I forget there was one guy, not the other Matt, but the guy Joe, the biker guy who got Sean, bro. Hey, shout out Sean because Sean was really dope. But like, I remember Sean got fired because I think he got, I don't even know, arrested for fucking.
Well, dude, I was visiting from up north. I came down to visit you guys, and your roommate got arrested while I was there.
Right.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And came up to the apartment and arrested the guy. I was like, holy fuck.
And then later, when my mom comes and visits down here, we're walking down the street on Duval, and he's sitting on the corner, like, under some shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what's up, Sean? Did
he ever come back for his stuff at your house?
Oh, man.
No.
Really? He left all kinds of jewelry, rings.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
Chains.
He's a minimalist man.
It's like in situations like that, it's like, what do you do? Like, I just lived with this guy, and now he's homeless. He can't come live with me again because obviously I've individuals living with me. And it's like, do I just give him $20? Like, I feel like it's just like, what do I?
Dude,
is there anything?
Things are like so hard up, like at the moment, especially for like younger people. Not that this guy was young, but
no, he's old as fuck.
No, he was like 45, 50.
Like, things are kind of hard up. So like, I don't think there's any shame in just being like, hey man, hope it gets better. Like,
yeah, straight up. And that's kind of, I said like a couple of nice words to him and just went about my way. And I think that's really
kind words.
That's really all. I mean,
and now Robin's got a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But
wait, really?
A new project.
Wait, really? That guy?
Yeah. He flew home back to Ohio with her.
No way, really?
Oh, Jesus.
But gentlemen, I would say my phone is about to die. I just got the 10% little pop up.
Well, guys,
I don't want to stop the conversation. But
I think this is a great place to stop. This was so much fun. Kooz, do you have anything else on your list?
I do. I have a lot.
Right,
I have a lot. I want to do one more thing though. I mean,
Joe,
all right, go ahead. I could wait. I could wait the one more thing.
So I had one story that I was banking up. This is like this has been like like big one I've had for the past couple of years, and I lived with it for like 2 or 3 years, and it only built from there. So I used to work at this farm in this town I live in, and we spread I mean, there's actually millions of stories from this, but this is the most standout. I worked at this farm that spread manure over farm fields, and you would get in a tractor, you'd hook this hose up that pumps from a actual shit pond into the field. And so you just go back and forth on the field all day. So I did this, and there was lots of guys. It was a family business, and there was lots of guys that worked there, but they paired me up with the old dude because he seemed to like me. And
you chose him. You chose the old guy.
Yeah, I liked him. He's cool. And so this guy, you want to talk about road pop? This guy was he was buying 24 racks all the time, and he'd be cruising along and just drinking constantly. Never got pulled over in the 2 decades of time that I had known this guy. And I asked him, I was like, how are you not getting in trouble? How do you not get pulled over? And one time we were out cutting up trees for whatever reason, and he was running a backhoe, which is big giant piece of equipment that's got the big bucket on the front. And before I went over there, a coworker just a little bit younger than me, he said, hey, seriously, I'm not joking. Watch out for Ross. He's tried to kill me on that backhoe because he's drunk and he'll fall asleep in it. And so it was a really, really hot day, and I've never seen the guy touch a glass of water, and he's always just drinking Old Milwaukee. And so he's putting it away, and I'm cutting up these trees, and all of a sudden the backhoe's headed for me, and I was like, oh, he's coming to grab this tree, but it just kept rolling. It just rolled over this tree I was cutting. I ran.
You had to jump out of the way.
I ran out of the way because I figured he wanted me to he's gonna pick it up and then I could cut off the end. And so
bless you.
God bless you. So he's just rolling, and he just rolls over this tree, rolls down into this ditch, and just parks the thing there. He hobbles out, and he's like, it's time to go home. And we left this backhoe here, but it's not over yet. It's because we go into his car. All the trucks are manual, and I had just learned how to drive it there, and he was grinding gears like crazy. He couldn't get it together, man. And he was so we're cruising, and it's dark now, and he's just driving there, and all of a sudden I noticed we're drifting into the ditch, and he goes for a little spin into the ditch.
And you crashed the car?
It starts going to it only went off road and started bumping and just kind of getting out of control. But I grabbed the wheel, switched it over, and what was crazy is that there was a cop behind us, and the cop, he finally gets him. Okay, so he gets him, and the guy just happened to not have a breathalyzer on him.
Right.
And this guy drinks so much, and he had run out of beer. Mostly the reason we left. He drinks so much that they had to take him into the station. And I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, well, you go with us. We'll drop you off back at the old farm. And so they take him there, and their blood machine is not working. It's down for service.
Miraculous.
And and so they're like, all right, we're gonna have to give you a breathalyzer, but this is 5 hours after the fact. Mm-hmm. And he blows just zero, and he gets away. And
bro, what?
Yeah, and they dropped me off. They dropped me off at home, and I figured when I saw him the next day, he wasn't gonna have a license. But turns out later, his buddy, who it was just like him, ended up actually getting a DUI after how many hundreds of thousands of years. And the guy uses back roads. He drives through to different farms, going through farm fields, so he doesn't get caught.
Yeah, and that's insane.
And so I mean, that job, every single day was something funny happening.
Well, Kooz, I'll tell you what. Thank you for telling a story for 10 minutes in the same monotone voice, man. You really had me hooked.
Dude, hey, and moral of the story, if you're going to drink and drive, drink a lot of it and drive right on the main drag.
You want to do it bold, and do it for many decades.
Well, okay. Now, drinking and driving is one thing. Fuck that. And I know we're coming to the end of the show, but like, if you're gonna cross the street or if you're gonna turn left or right, you gotta commit. You know what I mean? Why do people get in these accidents? Because they fucking pull in the middle of the road and then they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that." When really, you should have just fucking kept going.
Yeah. Don't hesitate. Do not hesitate, man. You gotta be all in or all out. You know.
Yeah, that's what I say about the cats, man. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.
Exactly. And I think we can end on that, boys. This has been more. If you like what we got going on here with Ryan Mougey, Nicholas, Joe Money, and our special guest, Bluetooth Kooz, like, comment, subscribe, share this video to all your friends. Thank you so much, Kooz, for being here. You're a fantastic guest, and hopefully we can have more of you on here. I like your energy, and I like what you brought to the table. It was a silly goose time. It was super fun.
Well, you know, my paid sessions, you can contact me. I'll send you the PayPal link. And
yeah, send me the invoice, man.
We can set this up again, man.
Send me the invoice. All right, well, this has been more, everybody. Thank you so much.
Hey, it was good to see you guys again.
Peace.
Good to see you too, bro.
All right.